Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We know that Donald Trump likes to brag and he's got an inflated ego, or at least he pretends to have, because if you have an inflated ego in negotiations, that's not good, because the opposition can, or the guys who negotiate with, they will take advantage of that. Now, based on that, Trump claims he broke up BRICS. Not BRICS, boom, like martial arts BRICS, but BRICS, Brazil, India, Russia, China, and South Africa. He claims he restored the dollar and the guys are scattered all around the world. Nobody moves. That's what he says. Do you think that's a reality? No, I don't think so. But hey, I have two articles in which he threatens with 150% tariffs on anybody who drops the dollar in their schemes. What does that mean? I will tell you. And another very important development, the United States wants to withdraw from United Nations. Surprises you? Not at all. They could stay over there, still stay over there and just violate the international law, continue to violate it, and place sanctions, veto any resolutions that would attack or try to punish our ally in the Middle East. So I don't think that's going to be passing a bill, but hey, let's start with the second article, which is, or the topic, Ukrainska Pravda, bill of full withdrawal from United Nations introduced in US Congress. A draft law has been introduced in the US Congress proposing the withdrawal of the United States from the United Nations. Republican Senator Mike Lee from Utah has introduced a bill to completely withdraw the United States from the United Nations 2025, providing for the country's withdrawal from the United Nations and all related agencies and the termination of funding for their activities. It is also known that Republican Chip Roy, who I used to like, from Texas, here it is, wants to introduce such a bill in the House of Representatives. And I'm quoting, "The United Nations have developed into a platform for tyrants and a venue to attack America and her allies. We should stop paying for it. As President Trump revolutionizes our foreign policy by putting America first, we should withdraw from this sham organization and prioritize real alliances that keep our country safe and prosperous." So, what do you think, my friends? About a dozen our Republicans have expressed support for the draft law. What do you think? Well, first, I said many times before that there will be two organizations. Clear, United Nations will be done with. Why? Because of BRICS. And BRICS was accelerated because of what these guys have been doing in Ukraine. These guys being Al Capone and its lackeys. If Al Capone would have succeeded in Ukraine the way it proposed itself, set the goals, then everything would have been okay. The problem is they want a different, they don't want United Nations rules anymore, because those rules will show how inconsistent they are with law and order. That is rules-based world order, which is our rules we make, we don't have to abide, we pick and choose, and our ally, singular, is going to be, when they talk about allies, it's only one that they're talking about. They don't talk about Great Britain or France or no, those are jackals. The only ally, the boss, is in the Middle East, and the country's name starts with an I, and I will do it by elimination if you don't know who that is. It's not Iran, and it's not Iraq. All right. So, India is not in the Middle East, okay? All right, my friend. And Bangladesh is not, or Kuwait, not either. So, they want to do it again. They want to start over. They want to be not responsible or accountable to anybody else, to point the finger at, wait a second, we have United Nations here. What's going on? No, they don't even want that. They will do it like this. This is us. You see this? You see this? You see that? There's going to be straight in your eyes or nose or chin if you don't do what I'm telling you. And it's exactly how they will run the world if they're allowed. And I don't see why. Because the other pole right now is BRICS. And that gets me to the second topic of this video, baboonish, but it is. Right there, new voice of Ukraine. Trump threatens 150% tariffs on countries considering dollar alternatives. Why not, homie? Why not? I mean, if you are as you say you are, and our economy is as you say it is, and we are great, and we like capitalism, and we were told in Romania after Ceausescu was killed, free market. No, that's not free market. That's a very much controlled market where some have to win and others have to lose on an unfair competition. So don't give me the American capitalism, don't give me the American democracy. I've been in the United States of America and they didn't help me maintain that. I mean, I knew that since I was in Romania, that is just blah, 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 but not to this extent. Democracy is like this. When we win, democracy. When we lose, no democracy. Same with capitalism. When we win, capitalism. When we can't compete because our product is garbage, no capitalism. Let's impose tariffs and sanctions and ban other countries from selling their gas and oil, for instance, to Europe, to use that as an example. So I'm going to put pressure on the baboons in Europe to sanction themselves buying cheap, much cheaper gas from Russia. I'm going to give them liquefied natural gas, which is 4 to 5 times more expensive than the gas coming from the pipe from Russia. But the baboons will do it. Is this free competition? No, it's not. Hey, under the sanctions that I impose on them. Well, you impose sanctions on... If I have a problem with you, I impose sanctions on you. You do whatever you want with me. But then I say, everybody in the neighborhood, if you guys do business with him or her, I'm going to punch you in the face. Now, who does that? Al Capone was compared with these guys. So now he says, I'm going to impose 150% tariffs on you guys if you don't use the dollar. Can they use whatever? Yeah, you can use it. But then I will do this to you. It's like the so-called free will in the Bible. You have free will, but if you do this, you're gonna burn in hell. What the fuck? It goes without saying. No, you have the choice. What are you talking about? A guy comes to rob me in the middle of the night with a gun and says, give me your wallet. You have free will, my man. What do you think I will do? No. Boom, my friends. So here it is, alternatives. So this shows who these guys are. First, United Nations, now with the tariffs and with the dollar. Let's see what this guy says. Donald Trump discussed the BRICS nations' plan to create a new currency and potentially use the yuan, the Chinese one. Trump said, the first thing I said was, any BRICS country that mentions the destruction of the dollar with will be subject to 150% tariff. What do you mean the destruction? So he already tells you, he's a baboon in this one, he already tells you the weakness. If you destroy our dollar by dropping our dollar, that means you destroy the dollar, you destroy us? Yes, that's the Achilles heel, my friends. And the Russians knew exactly that. What's going to happen? They go and negotiate. Do you think the negotiations over there in Ukraine are just because the Russians occupy Kupalove or Makalaka or Tsokofoko or Makatiki? Fuck no. It's about the banking system, about the money and power. And it's not about that one. When the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians and all these guys spoke about the BRICS bank, which is there to counter the International Monetary Fund in the United States of America or the World Bank in America, they said, oy vey, we can't pull on this guy a Ceausescu, we can't pull a Saddam Hussein on this one, we can't pull a Gaddafi on these guys. All these guys wanted banks outside of the international banking system. And what happened to them? They were bad dudes. They had to go. Decided whom exactly? You from the other house? Well, if you decide what's going on in someone else's house, that means everybody else has the right to decide what happens in your house, unless they can't. So it's a matter of can or cannot. All right, so here is, my friends, if they destroy the dollar, that means what? These guys imposed it with the petrodollars in 1972, I think, or 71, by Mr. Nixon. You know, remember that guy? All right, so he imposed that. He said, you know what, we're not going to have the gold standard whatsoever. Why? Because we can't compete. We're going bankrupt. Those guys get more gold than we do, compared with whatever we claim we are. So then we're going to make this scheme with a petrodollar. Everybody else, when they buy dollars from the Arabs or wherever they buy it over there, they have to pay in US dollars, not in anything else. Why? Because for you to get oil, which you need to run an economy, you come to me or you give me something so I can give you dollars. And I print how much money, how much dollars you want me, I can print for you right there. And I give you paper or numbers, you give me products that you work for, that you have to give to those guys for the oil to create the product, to sell it to me for paper. All right, so this is the power of the dollar. So, my friends, if that's how the scheme is run, what kind of country? Are these the good guys or the bad guys? If you tell me, well, you do what you gotta do, then you're gonna justify a lot of crimes from the history. All right, now let's go to this guy when again he brags about it. Here it is, Russia Today. Trump claims, this is from February 21st, today, 2025. Russia claims his tariff threat broke up BRICS. Really? I don't think he did that. We'll see. The US president has reiterated his pledge to cut trade with members of the economic bloc if they try to destroy the dollar. First, the BRICS PPP is as much as the G7. So the industrialized power houses, the TICs. And these guys, the PPP, and the other, how GDP, I don't want to call it, but it's a little bit different, but it doesn't vary too much. You have the other one. You got the BRICS countries. The BRICS countries is equal almost with these guys. I think the PPP, the BRICS countries, the developing countries, developing economies, surpass these TICs. So how are you going to do? You're going to say, we're not going to do business with you. Who's going to sell you Who's going to sell you all these things? Who's going to sell it to you? Are you going to make it? You don't have the infrastructure here. Look at the roads. You don't have manufacturing industry. Who's going to do it for you? You're going to import workers? Oh, you're going to have a Lebensraum? You're going to import workers? They're going to work for you and you stay over there and don't do anything? These guys are lazy. Entitled. What's the other word? Let me think about it. Spoiled, lazy, and entitled. This is the ideology is pushed on this population. And there are already young people in the workforce that will be our leaders in the future. They will make decisions for us. With these guys, that's why they say the Americans will not accept doing those works, those jobs. That's why we need to import people who will do that. First, that is very, very demeaning towards those people that you bring. So I'm too good, but you're garbage enough to do it for me? No, because the economy sucks. And I don't want to work for $15 an hour. Why? Because you can't afford a living. Why? Your economy sucks. Who's in charge of that? Our regulations and the government. So they suck. They try to fix it by what? Importing workforce? Anyway, here it is. And we're going to raise the minimum wage. Why? Everything is going to go like this. You increase this, prices. Increase this, prices. Is baboonish. So anyway, let's see what Trump says about this. Here it says that Trump made the comment that US President Donald Trump has claimed that his threat to place tariffs on BRICS, and I'm quoting, broke up the economic bloc. Trump made a comment at the Republican Governors Association's meeting on Thursday, accusing BRICS of, and I'm quoting, trying to destroy our dollar. It's not destroyed. That's based on your economic power. A currency is based on your economic power. If your economy sucks, your currency will suck. If your economy is strong, as you say it is, nobody can destroy it. But it's not the case. You say you have a big economy and we're the best, which we are, economically, still the biggest economy, but still not the way you say it is. And then it's going to destroy our dollars. By what? By not using your currency? Exactly. So imagine the Russians will say, from now on everybody uses the ruble, let's say. And if it's, I'm not going to use your ruble. Let's say the Russians say everybody should use the ruble. Right now. Or the Chinese, the yuan. Or the Romanians, the leu. Or I don't know, whomever. Or the yen, or Japanese, or whatever you want to say. Do you think the Americans will say, oh yeah, it's okay? No, only our dollar. Why? You know why? Because you can't fucking compete. Thick, that's what it is. So that's what he did. Let me read more here. When I came in, he says, Trump brags, I said is, the first thing I said is, any BRICS state that even mentioned the destruction of the dollar will be charged 150% tariffs, and the BRICS states just broke up. Wow, we haven't heard from the BRICS states lately. All right, my friend, they said, sir, what about the BRICS states? They're going to take over the dollar, the sanctity. Who made that decision of the sanctity? How do you call that? When you have the Pope and you ointment, I don't know, whatever the word is. Who said that it's a sanctity? They're going to create a new currency to rule the world. No, they just want to get rid of your hegemony, and you don't want to get rid of it. I said, no, they're not. Tell them 150% tariffs, plus they're not going to do business with them. So who are you going to do business with? You're going to do with your dying economies in the West? What the fuck do you produce? Your cars? China is going to take over. They do it cheaper, and the quality might not be the best, but cheaper always beats the quality in this case, my friends. You're going to see. I'm not talking about this much difference in quality, but if I come with a car right now in United States of America and I sell it for $10,000, a car that runs, well, I know, like a Ford Focus kind of car, small, low, how do you call it, consumption, reliable to a certain extent like everything else, but not as comfortable, not with wooden interior, not with wooden steering wheel, not with massage seats or ball fondling thing, no extra hands over there. No, not with a lady of the night. No, they don't come with that. And $10,000, that's doable. I guarantee you these guys are going to die. The German car manufacturing is going to be dead. The American is already dead, but nevertheless, dead. The Chinese, if that is going to happen, and the Chinese have that, but they're not allowed to bring it here because these guys, free market. They don't allow them to come over here because if they come over here, these guys die today. And the dollar. And don't ever believe in the US or the democracy. Or don't ever believe ever in the US capitalism. No, it's not. It's a word for us like the laws. And I'm not encouraging anybody not to follow the laws. But after an age, personal experience, I think the laws are to keep the baboons in place while the other ones are breaking the laws left and right and nothing happened to them. And then to me gets with the help of the religion. Be like this, be like that, don't do stuff, stay over there and let the other guys rule over you. The more, how they call it, thinking out of the box, that's the synonym, thinking out of the box or are innovative, all right, innovative approach, then the better they get. But when you do that, you're innovative at work or driving a car or doing something, we're gonna get fined or maybe in prison or fired. That's a scheme, my friends, and they teach our children to follow this, respect the authority and all this. Why? So they could be obedient fucking citizens. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.